Again, thank you for joining us for 13 News at 6. I'm Brittany Hardaway. We start in Rockford tonight as families are still recovering from severe weather that hit our area nearly 2 weeks ago. Residents in both Ogle and Winnebago counties experienced the worst of the damage, with many Rockford residents experiencing flooding, especially near Charles Street, where families are still combating the lingering impacts every day. 13 WREX's Emily McMinn joining us in studio tonight. And Emily, many residents you spoke with are still recovering today.
Absolutely, Brittany. Despite the time that has gone by, residents in Rockford's 3rd Ward are one of the areas also continuing to see the impacts. As their alderman tells me that he is still getting calls from residents. I spoke with one of these families today who is without a home even now, as the entire family is now stepping in to help them return to some sense of normalcy.
Melissa Ramos graduated from Guilford High School just 2 months ago, looking forward to all of the exciting things to come. However, this summer brought the unexpected as she now finds herself helping repair her home.
It's been really hard because obviously I expected to have a fun-filled summer before I go off to college or whatever I end up doing. And now with all this that's happening, it's kind of hard to think of it as summer when we have other priorities right now.
After the family experienced around 4 feet of water in their basement and a flooded sunroom, they have now been forced to evacuate, living with another family member for the past 2 weeks and grieving the loss of not just physical items, but memories.
Heartbreaking because we had so much stuff downstairs, our pictures, our recreational activities. So for all of it to just be gone in an instant was really hard to see.
The storm also caused Ramos's mother to get injured, now leaving the family without one source of income and paying medical bills on top of storm repairs.
My mom went downstairs to turn off the light, and she slipped from the first step all the way to the bottom because of the stairs. So we actually had to call 911 and get her to the hospital and everything.
This is not the first time the Ramos family has undergone damage like this to their home, which they've only lived in since 2020. During the March 2023 storms, they also had a tree fall on their fence and yard.
It's been a lot of damages and just a lot of repairs and money that we've had to put into the house. We've had to buy concrete to try to make sure it won't happen again.
For now, Ramos plans to continue helping her family as best as she can, awaiting what's next for not just her future, but their transition back home.
It feels like it's never ending. Thankfully, we're seeing some progress now, but at the beginning, we just felt hopeless.
With the damage still a factor for many, tonight we're digging deeper into the city's efforts to step in. Just last week, the City of Rockford announced they would be in and out of communities checking out the damage. This was done by damage assessment teams to gather information to send to the state. This information went specifically to the Illinois Emergency Management Agency, who can now decide whether or not they will declare a disaster. If that does happen, the City of Rockford would be able to access more resources, which could potentially extend to families depending on the state's decision. At this point, the city says the next steps are very much up in the air.
We're just in a holding pattern right now, waiting to hear back from them. We have been told that we should hear something back in the near future here. They didn't give us an exact timeline. So really we're just we're waiting on the state to see what their next steps are going to be.
The city says through the assessments, they were able to determine over 250 homes in need of repair. And the intense rainfall that brought all of that recent flooding may happen more often in our warming climate. We bring in our chief meteorologist, Alex Kirchner, to explain. Alex.
Emily.